Knife and glove combos that are used by Counter-Strike 2 pros, and I just went on to HLTV and picked a bunch of pros from the top 10 teams. If there's any specific pros that you want me to go over in part 2, let me know down in the comments, but starting off with Wonderful from Navi, he is using a butterfly knife emerald with the sport gloves ultraviolet in minimal wear. And the gloves, as you can see, have a nice amount of pink and they look to be well worn, but I can't see because it's still hidden in his inventory. I don't know the exact pattern on the gloves, but I think the ones that I'm using right now are pretty similar to the ones that he's using. And then we have James from P-Vision, who is using the Karambit Crimson Web in minimal wear with the specialist gloves Crimson Kimono in well worn. The knife has a centered web, which is pretty based, plus a good amount of red on the gloves, which is also pretty based, so this is like an OG combo. James really knows his skins, but the gloves being well worn is a bit sad. This video was sponsored by Skins Monkey, which is a trading platform where you can trade your old rusty skins for brand new ones in seconds. You just select the skins that you want to trade and the ones that you want to get. You click trade and it's done. If you use my code OZNI on the website, you get a bonus of up to $5 for free to trade and a 35% bonus when buying balance. They also host giveaways in the freebies page, and link to Skins Monkey is in the description. But then we have Karrigan, who is using an M9 Bayonet Marble Fade with a Sport Gloves Pandora's Box. The gloves are 0.36 float, so they are barely field tested. He should be using something better with the Falcon's money. But then we have Wicadia, who is using a M9 Bayonet Ruby with the Specialist Gloves Pillow Punchers in minimal wear. I absolutely love this combo. This is such a nice contrast. I think he really cooked here. And then we have Donk. Donk is using a butterfly knife Doppler Ruby with sport gloves Amphibious in minimal wear. This is a trend that I'm seeing more recently, in which people like to use combos that are like basically direct contrast. So this is basically a blue and red, I guess, a fire and ice combo. It is pretty nice, honestly, and it's not something you see every day. And then we have JL, who is using a butterfly black pearl with sport gloves Pandora's Box, which are field tested. This is more of a classic. It is a purple combo, of course, one of the highest tier ones you can see in the game, but it is a pretty nice one. And then we have Caserato, who is using an M9 Bayonet Marble Fade with sport gloves ultraviolet in minimal wear. I don't know the exact pattern, but they are pretty similar to the ones that I'm using in the video. I mean, it's not really a combo that I like, but yeah. Then we have Jacob from FaZe, and he's using a Karambit Emerald with Sport Gloves Edge Maze in minimal wear. This is basically a green combo, like there's no more green than this. This is as green as it gets. It is pretty nice, but also pretty basic. And then we have Heavy God, and Heavy God is using a Butterfly Ruby with the Sport Gloves Occult. So he is using the new gloves, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure exactly what condition they are in because his profile is private, but from what I see, I think they are minimal wear. They could be low float field tested, but they are not very beat up. This combo is pretty nice, honestly. And then we have Snacks, who is using the M9 Bayonet Gamma Doppler Phase 1 with the driver gloves Brocade Flowers, and these are field tested. It is another combo with the new gloves. I quite like this one. This is not like the highest of the highest tier, but it is a pretty nice cyan combo. And then we have Flamesy from Vitality, and he's using the M9 Ruby with the driver gloves Crimson Weep, which are minimal wear, and this is basically another kind of an OG combo. This is the classic Ruby combo. The gloves are pretty nice and they work very well here. And then we have Cobra Zero, who is using the Butterfly Knife Emerald with driver gloves King Snake, and these are minimal wear. This is another sort of a contrast combo with the white and green. We had, I don't know, who was it, Wicadia, that used the Ruby with the Pillow Punchers. This is sort of in the same line with the contrast. I think it is really nice, if you ask me. I think this combo is really good, and it's not one you see every day either. And if you made it this far, comment the word King and let me know what pros you want to see in part 2. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel for daily CS2 content.